are back. We are back. It's been very interesting. First and foremost, I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to be here. I did not intend to take 2 months away from the camera. Best believe anytime you see me, anytime you don't see me, I'm still working. You should know that I revolve life around work. So anytime you don't see me, there's actually more work being done, more hands-on work being done. But I didn't intend to be away for 2 months, especially after coming to you guys live every Monday for basically 2 years. So here's what I learned. We're gonna take a little journey and see what it is that I had to learn or I had to put in perspective for me. Now, as always, we're gonna have good convo. We're gonna have real convo. It's gonna get deep, but we're gonna keep it light. Anybody here, thank you for being here, first and foremost. And second of all, please feel free to comment. I might even send out the link for you to join me. I got a little time today, just a little bit. And that's why I chose today to pop back out. So, first things first, right? Like I said, I still was doing a lot of work. So, I actually had, was it three? Three different pop ups that I went to with Shine Care Products. Check that out. Check out the website. Um, I was able to bring Shine and AIM to all three of these pop ups. The first one was the Juneteenth pop up created by the Heinz RVA Foundation. Shout out to them. They're doing wonderful things here in Virginia. Okay. A lot of students, a lot of the youth have been able to go to college without being empty handed. There are seniors that are being adhered to and sponsored, and they've been able to travel. These are people that never left the city. You know, they've been able to show their smarts, showcase their talents all throughout the RVA Foundation. So the Heinz RVA Foundation. So shout out to them. Um, I went to I had the privilege of being a part of the Heinz RVA Juneteenth pop up. Of course, it was on Juneteenth. And again, I won't go too crazy, but I was approached by some young gentlemen, right, who didn't really take the time to hear me out. They like, yo, what you got going on over here? Didn't really take the time to hear me out on what my product was, what my business was, what my brand was. But they like, you should you should work with us. And it's like, okay, well, they say all money's not good money. All opportunities aren't real opportunities. Everything that glitters ain't gold. These quotes have been put in perspective for me. So I went. I was like, okay. Again, I won't go into too much of detail because I do want this to be reprimanded. We're still in that. If you ask me, I'm still open for reprimanding the situation. But it was real vague. But I took it. I took the opportunity anyway. I paid to be a vendor and didn't receive any. I'm talking about like any information. Like I didn't get a flyer, I didn't get a location, I didn't get a response. So I gave you money for you to ghost me, and this was the most that I've paid for to be a vendor because it was supposed to be a big pop up. And I was like, oh, okay. when did I, so I always go into accountability, when did I become someone that you could willfully screw over? I said, dang, I was patient. My patience had turned into passiveness. I'm not, I'm confrontational. I tried not to be because I know how I can be. And this is a younger gentleman. So I was like, man, I don't want to bump heads. But you create your own conflict by trying to avoid the conflict that is right there. It's right there. Like you didn't do it, but it's yours to handle. You know what I'm saying? It's not your fault, but it is your responsibility. You feel me? So I said, you know what? I got no response. I said, I wasn't feeling well the day of. I said, go ahead, send me a refund. Surprise, surprise, no response. I just lost out on that money. And I can't consider it a failed opportunity because I wasn't included, you know? So what am I saying all that for? You have to look out for people's real intentions. That was the first event, right? The pop up, the Juneteenth pop up was phenomenal. Um, I did well there. I got the chance to rekindle with some people I haven't seen in a while. Uh, my little baby girl, I ain't seen her since she was a baby. And now she's going to college. It just hit my heart. You know, like I still had a ball. I made my good sales and everything. So I look at the two differences. You know, how was this pop up and how was this pop up? This one said, you know, gave me time for one thing, said, okay, this is the price, this is what's gonna happen, paid in advance, added me to a flyer. Here's multiple flyers. We spreading this thing, all of that. You know, here's the location. Here's what you paid for and more. You know, versus the one that I paid more for, and I couldn't even get a location from these people. So it was like, yeah, look out for people's real intentions. Another event I did was the Man Under the Hood event. Great event. First collab outside of my ring of people I work with, right? It's the first collaboration, like official. And it could have been better, sure, but I think it was great. I think it was great. It gets my stamp of approval because, first of all, Man Under the Hood, the event was created to be able to show young men and men of any age, but the target was young men, uh, how to do preliminary maintenance on a vehicle. So, you know, that's one of the main things that we consider ourselves as men. Like, you gotta get your hands dirty. You should know just a few things, some basics, you know, like how to change the tires, check the tire pressure, how to change the oil, how to change the battery, check the battery. It's some things that, you know, avoid going to a shop for. You should know some of these things. You know what I mean? When it comes to like taking apart the car to get to something, all right, now you're going into something more intricate. But you should be able to lift the hood and know what's going on. Okay. So that was that. Man Under the Hood was the event that was created for that. And we collabed with Xavier Gary with his organization is called Xspire, and he's doing great things too. But he's heavy in the word and he brings God with him in everything that he does. He's a big old public speaker and I'm learning from him. I'm a public speaker as well. Iron sharpens iron. Haven't talked this much this early in the morning in a while, and it shows. So iron sharpens iron. So shout out to what you call him, Pastor X behind the scenes. Shout out to Pastor X, man. And it showed his real intentions. This is my first time actually getting to meet the man behind the brand. I might have to use that. I might have to tag that, John, bro. I might have to trademark that one. Meet the man behind the brand. Go. So I met him. We all, communicating. Business that my slogan is: you can't have community without communication. Everybody puts the responsibility of the communication on me. I'm willfully, I'm willfully will, I willfully will take on that responsibility, but not due to lack of. Like, if you put me in charge of communication, get ready. You know what I mean? Like, it's gonna be annoying at first, but then you're gonna see the reason why. Because you can't have community without communication. So, uh, leading up to the event, things that needed to happen, I put things out there, and he showed up. Even when it was a crunch for time, he showed up. And every time he showed up as the same person. And then when I actually got to like one-on-one talk to him, there was a lot of commonalities. There was the mentality of I'm doing this for the community. I know how God serves me. This is me serving God. Do the thing. Here's a gem for all my entrepreneurs, all my people who say they just need some money and all that stuff, and you're using or you're trying to connect your passion with your purpose. You're trying to make some paper from what it is that you do or will do willfully or consider your purpose, right? Here is the thing: there is no lack when it comes to God. The universe does provide everything that you need and more, and want and desire. You can have these things. So when you put money over your purpose, you will lose every time. Every time. Every time. Every time I've tried to work with somebody and I'm like, yo, this is for the community, right? And they like, okay. And then getting closer to, you actually see the community, people become numbers to them, meaning it's enough people that I can make enough money. And it's like, that's not what we was bringing the people together for. I'm not against you making money, but what are we here for? Are we here to serve the community or get something from them? So if it's a community event, let it be about the community. What's the purpose of us coming together? We can create an event, a pop up, or whatever, a sales network, whatever. We can create something, that's money driven. We can create something to create to for capital. But if this is a community event, keep it community, bro. What was the purpose? So I shout out Pastor X because when I finally got to talk to him when we was at the event, I was the first one to show up. And when I got there, there was already complications, right? There was complications on one side because they said we was limited on space because we didn't get the approval of one of the organizations that had some of the space that we wanted to use. And when we get there, it's like they used that space. They wasn't planning on it, but then it was like since we was hosting an event, they was like, shoot, we could host an event and use our space. But their space started to trickle into ours. And here we go. I'm not trying to I'm working on being confrontational. And here's something I learned. That everybody talk about doing the inner work, the shadow work, the dark side. That side of you is necessary. It's a balance. You just got to learn when to let that side of you show. You fighting your demons. Me and my demons play games with each other. Me and my demons talk to one another. My demons aren't really demons. My demons are there for my protection. My demons are there, are part of my identity. They aren't actually demons. It's not actually a dark side. It only can become dark if you allow it, right? So I had to learn that about my confrontational side because that could be what somebody consider a bad thing or a negative trait. You know, I'm too confrontational, I'm too blunt. Um, so I was like, you know what? This is a time to let that side shine. I pulled up, I let them know. They was like, nah, we ain't know nothing about that. Cool. Let me go find the person for this. And within that, leading from a good space, I found people that I already knew. So it was love at their event. They had security and all of that at their event. They wound it up, I found the creator or the host of that event. We was able to connect. Now we're in the same network because your event was pretty much similar to our event that we're doing, you know? And so we were able me being confrontational, I just sought out the person to speak to him. Hey, we need this space for our event. Cool. And we was able to like block it off. Their security helped us flow traffic. And, we just worked with one another. Look out for people's real intentions. Okay. And then I got to speak to my guy, Pastor X, and he was saying the same thing of like, bro, I don't care, but we talking about tools and stuff. We had, giveaways and we plotting our next event while we were right there. And he was like, man, I don't care about the money. I know the money is gonna come. That's when I connected. That's when I was like, okay, so now we're thinking of like, I don't care about the money. The money is gonna come as long as you put in the work. As long as you're consistent, you will get to the result. Consistency does not have a time frame. You might put a time frame on when you want to see the result, the harvest of your labor. But as long as you're just consistent, you will see the result. There's no time stamp, but that is a guarantee. It's not a guarantee that you'll get it. If I put in a week's worth of work, I should get. Mm-mm, that's not a guarantee. Even if you clocking in a job, you know what I'm saying? Like if I work overtime, you don't know that next bracket is what is the bracket? What's the next bracket? I made $300 extra. They took 200 from me. Like, oh, so now you got to work even more. You know, that's a different thing. But consistency, as long as you're consistent, you will get the return of your labor. And that's spiritual. That's something that I know is better than me, is downloaded from God. So if you have that same mentality, I could work with you. Because that means you know how to put the purpose first. Put the purpose first and we'll make some money. You should have the confidence of making money. Everywhere I've been making money without trying to. All of these pop-ups I went to, I sold pretty well without trying to sell. I've had people tell me that I wasn't intending on buying, but because it's you, I'm gonna get a product from you. And I'm like, I still want this to be the best thing for you. So I'm gonna talk to you some more, see what you like, you know, and make sure that you get the right fit. Even after you confirm that you're gonna spend some money with me, mm, let's make sure that this is the right thing. Because the purpose is first. The purpose of my product, Shine, is to, is for self-care reasons. Will this actually attribute to your self-care? Then it's for you. If not, like if you don't use lotion, I don't need to sell to you. You're not my clientele. You're not my customer. I would like you to be. You ask me, everybody needs to use some type of moisturizer, but hey, if you don't, that's on you. So I digress. So, um, that's when I was stamped at the Man Under the Hood event that this is a good guy with good intentions who knows how to put purpose work ahead of making some paper. Okay. Next event. Next event. This one's funny because this was our most recent one. We did a back to school drive called Barbers and Backpacks, right? And I hadn't had the opportunity to meet the guy that was partnering with my homeboy. First and foremost, shout out to Rebuilding Men. Of all things, it's because it's automatic. It's because it's automatic. My boy Paul DeBerry has been on a roll, and we have sparked this conglomerate. It's called the We Conglomerate, and you'll be seeing more of that next year because we're doing all the prep work and behind the scenes, making sure everything is together. So before I talk about this other event, let me talk about the We Conglomerate. Um, Again, make sure people uh, look out for people's real intentions. We had came together, me, Paul DeBerry, Robert Utley. You've seen them on this channel. Go back to the Power People lives, and you've seen them multiple times, and you'll see what they are about and why I work with these gentlemen. So, Paul DeBerry is the founder of a nonprofit called Rebuilding Men in Richmond, Virginia, with intentions to go nationwide. And I love his mission. I love what he got going on there, Rebuilding Men. I supported him from the ground up. Uh, and we usually brainstorm ideas and support one another into executing these ideas. So shout out again. I'm gonna shout him out again, Paul D. from Rebuilding Men, because you're doing excellent things for the community, brother. And I applaud you. I love you. I thank you. And it's a privilege to be alongside you, bro. If you look and if you're checking this out. Same thing for my guy, Robert Udley. I hadn't learned so much. He's a independent African historian. I had not learned so much about history until I met this man. I did not realize how many resources there actually are, how many books there are, the meaning behind things. I learned the meaning behind the Sphinx. I always seen it. They shot the nose off of it, but what is the actual meaning? I learned so much from just listening to this man and being around this man. It does not make no sense. I'm like, bro, you gotta put this out there. Ain't no way. Ain't no way you sitting on all this treasure trove of information that could change somebody's entire life. You could change the entire culture with this information. Like you gotta put this out there. Right? So that's the We Conglomerate. We started off uh we started off this partnership, this collaboration, this conglomerate because Paul of Rebuilding Men had the opportunity to get a building. And this building was going to be a big move where it had an auditorium space, had event space, it had like three different locations for events. It had wraparound and no, not underground. What's the parking deck? It had a parking deck. It had parking lot space so that you can have a large amount of guests. You know, for all of the things that we do and we plan on doing. And he brought me and Mr. Utley into the fold. We doing this thing together. I said, oh, okay. If it's together, if it's we, again, you put me in something, be ready. uh, so that's still pending. That's still pending, all of the background. But what it did was spark that trigger for us to actually come together. All of what we do, all of us. I got AIM, always improving the mind. You got Paul with Rebuilding Men, and you got Utley with the Modern Liberation Movement. And put these three together, men getting their mind right to move. The Triple M. We moving, man. So within that, I was like, okay, this is where I really had to learn communication. But after we've had enough back and forth or miscommunication or unclarified on some things, once we was able to get to the clarity, I realized, you know, all of the real intentions. Look out for people's real intentions. And I promise I'm gonna get to the next thing. I'm still on the first. The first lesson I learned is look out for people's real intentions. I probably should just leave it as that, and take the other three into other videos, other lives. Um, so yes, we're still working. Me, Paul D. Berry, and Robert Utley are creating a community resource, a community outreach, a conglomerate for the community. Love those fellas. Y'all doing amazing things. So I can't wait to see how this unfolds, man. So going back to the barbers and backpacks, the back to school event, Paul with Rebuilding Men had created this event. He went to he went to a barber that he knows and trusts with the idea. Now, the only thing he wanted was to see if there was any interest in him doing the barber side, like kids that come get free haircuts, you know, to go back to school. But that person saw opportunity, jumped on it, and basically took over. We got news press, we got radio play, and that sounds good. But when it came time for those interviews in those areas, wasn't nobody invited. Only that guy got to speak. And then you listen to the interviews, that guy didn't even mention the event. Then it's time to mention, okay, who you doing this event with? He can't remember. Hmm. So getting closer to the event, we got more and more problems. You know, the day of the event, now mind you, I still hadn't met this person. The day of the event, the day of the event, I get to the event before anybody else. It's kind of my thing. I like to be prompt. I need to case the scene, where I'm gonna be at, you know, where's the exits, all of that. I got that within my security training. I know I'm security for a spell of time. Uh, so I get there early to case the scene now. So I get there before anybody I know is there. The radio is out there. It's a popular radio station, Power 92 in Richmond. It's out there. We got the bounce house up, and I'm like, ooh, looks like an event is taking place, right? My boy calls me, asks me to get some extra items. The store is right there. I go in the store. I make some more connections. I'm thinking, things are moving smoothly. The event is doing what it's supposed to do. And I go over there to my table. We start having complications. These tables ain't y'all's. What you mean? Or this tables are for me, just for you to like. You already got like banners posted everywhere of your barber school. So I'm a vendor at this event, and you telling me I don't have a table? I donated, I paid to be here, and I don't have a table? Stop playing, right? Set up my table. I think I made the most sales out there because I'm gonna just enjoy and be there for what the cause is. The sales was secondary. I was connecting with the kids. All of the kids was around my table. Something that y'all might not know, the kids love shine. Kids love to take care of themselves. It's natural. It is natural. They love the lotions, they love the oils, they love, like, oh, that made my skin feel so good. That made my skin smooth. I smell good. They love it. They love it. Shout out to the kids, man. And so then I'm focused on the event. I'm playing with the kids. I done got hacky set. What is it? Was the cornhole? I bought cornhole. They got Connect Four out there. They got the bounce house. They finally started cooking. We got the DJ. The event is doing really well. But my boy comes over to me like, yo, I'm thankful for your energy because I'm about to snap. And he's telling me about the behind the scenes. And I'm like, well, I'm with you and I'm ready. But I'm like, that's not what I want the kids to see, right? Long story short, this guy basically wanted to use this event to be able to promote his business. That's not a bad thing. But the purpose of the event was to get kids ready for school. So come closer to the event, he starts talking about not donating the supplies that we bought. We bought the supplies to donate to give to kids that come. Talking about not doing that, holding off on giving the supplies. The whole purpose of the event was to give kids school supplies and haircuts to go back to school with confidence. He wants to take the donation and give it to one of the schools directly so that he'll have his foot in the door with the school to get people to sign up to his barber school. And we like, bro, like that's not the intention of this event. We can do a whole nother event for that. We can do so much more for that. But for today, what we're doing is donating and giving away. Is giving away. Nobody has to pay for none of this stuff. If they want to pay for Shine, I gave away minis of Shine. That's how I know the kids love it. They came over. They like, can I get two? Yes. Take as many as I got. Like I'm giving it away. And after giving it away, what I said, it's gonna come back. God sees that. God knows your heart. And you move with pure intention, he gonna bless you. So I'm not surprised. I'm grateful, but I'm not surprised that I started making sales. I wasn't selling to anyone. I was giving, and within me giving, the sales came. It's that simple. It's not that automatic all the time. It's not immediate all the time, but it's that simple. Give and you will receive. Give. Uh, So look out for people's real intentions because now they had a whole falling out. Like I said, I never got to meet the guy. I took it upon myself to try to meet him, and I went to shake his hand. He wouldn't shake my hand. I said, "Okay, I see what type of time you on. You don't even know me." I'm pretty sure he knew that I was the homeboy or the guy that he's partnering with that he's having a falling out with, but you don't know me. And then all of his people wouldn't talk to me, wouldn't talk to my guy. It was all of this underground tension at this event that we supposed to been showing love to the community. You causing conflict. You know what I mean? We don't need to work with this dude, man. We don't need to work with this dude. Now, because we're men of our word, we all still spread, the news and promoted his stuff and all of that because that's what our word was. That's what the event was for. Some of the stuff you did contribute. So shout out to you. But as far as your intentions and how you moving and what you're saying and what you're doing and what you're trying to set up and how you trying to make us look and how you thinking, especially how you thinking. I can't work with you, dog. Mm. So being approached at pop-ups. Oh, last thing. I have a popular store that came to this pop-up again to recruit for their own thing. As far as business, I have no problem with that. But again, your intentions have to be aligned with your actions. So when these people approached me, they already had the wrong aura. You had one person that was just mean mugging the whole time and was looking at my stuff like, mm. And I'm like, like, what is it that I can help you with? And the other one was super energetic, like, man, I love this. I'm like, I ain't even tell you what it is. This for your hair? No, it's for your skin. I mean, your scalp is skin. You can put it on there. But no, this is for your skin. This for your hair, man. This for your hair. You're not even listening to me. And then they like, shoot, take my number, man. You can be a part of my store. And I'm like, I'm getting the same vibe as from the Juneteenth pop up. Like you approaching me, and it seems like an opportunity. I could possibly make some money from it, but it's not genuine. I can't. I'm not jumping on ingenuous things. I'm not. I'm not moving that way. I can't do that. So that's the first gem. I hope I don't take 30 minutes to talk about each one. Uh, that's the first gem. Is look out for people's real intentions within all of what you do, and what's done in the dark comes to light. You can't keep that mask on forever. All of that applies. So don't don't beat yourself up if the fox in wolf's clothing look good as a wolf. The fox in wolf's clothing. The fox in sheep's clothing looks good as a sheep. I can't talk this morning. Don't beat yourself up if you didn't acknowledge the disguise. Okay? Because they're gonna they're gonna put on a show, they're gonna say the right things, they're gonna swindle, they're gonna, manipulate their way into the identity of what it is that you're looking for to be able to try to get something from you. And what they don't realize is we think abundantly. So if we was able to do well with this one thing, imagine what we could do in the future. Imagine what else we could do. But because your intentions are off, I no longer can work with you. You've shown me who you truly are, what you truly want, and how you're willing to go about that. So that just it's just business. That just business mentality. Every person that has that mentality I've seen do some foul stuff. They're willing to cross you out, cross you over, blackmail, step on your back, take, steal from, and then, well, that's just business. No, that's you. And what you did was personal. You attacked me personally. It's not just business that you robbed me. It's not just business that you lied to me to manipulate your way into getting something from me. That's not just business, that's personal. If it's just business, then we can have a whole chart of numbers and strategies and no emotions, just execute, you know what I'm saying? But business that you got hidden intentions, a hidden agenda, and you using me and you know what I mean, stuff like that. Nah, it's not just business, dog. You don't know much about business because we can make a lot more together than you have to on your own. But keep on doing your thing, bro. Second gem, and I'll speed it up. I don't know how because these are heavy. Like I said, do for you. I truly, I truly had to learn this again. It's do for you. I had done so much. I'm a community advocate. I'm a selfless person. I want to help, but you can't pour from an empty cup. Do for you because you also truly cannot control the idea, the image, or the thoughts of others. How other people perceive you is on them. So my wife, she like easily gets embarrassed and she be questioning like, how is it that like you're not embarrassed? Like I don't get embarrassed easily because I know me. I love me. I accept me, right? And if something happens to me or I do something, like I don't have a problem laughing at me. I laugh at myself. I don't embarrass easily. So if I tripped and stumbled in front of people or I said the wrong thing, or like hit a womp 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 type of joke that didn't that didn't land, it's still funny to me. I don't embarrass easily, right? Because to be embarrassed is to think what somebody else thinks of me. Now, I'm not perfect. I think I know all humans do this. We all have an awareness of the perception of others. We don't want to look stupid. We don't want to seem dumb. We don't want to seem wrong. This is why peer pressure works. This is why so many people are willing to do so many things that's outside of their character. This is the reason why self development has become so strong of a area, a niche. This is why I could speak on these things because so many people are just going with the trend. Society literally is living to a standard that others have put on them. What is success? You have a family, a house with a fence, white picket fence, a car, you know what I'm saying, a job, a certain amount of money, a certain type of living, a certain type of whatever. A lot of us don't realize how much we are living our lives based on the perceptions of others. Do for you. Do for you. Define what is success to you, right? There are some people who don't want to retire, but everything tells you retire early, retire, retire. You're going to retire. Some people don't want to retire. I know a lot of people that love what they do, no matter how menial it may be to somebody else. They love their routine. They love their customers. They love what they do. So why are you aiming for retirement if you don't want to stop doing what it is that you're doing? Just an example, right? Like I'm never gonna stop community work. I could be 90 years old and I'm gonna be at whatever the function is. If it's serving, is servitude involved? Count me in. Like, man, I recently had a argument with a coworker, right? And it's a beloved coworker. And within the argument for me, like, I don't like to argue. The argument for me was all confusion. I told y'all before the two emotions that I don't sit well with is confusion and what's the other one? Guilt. Confusion and guilt does not sit well with me. So I was confused. That's the reason why this argument happened. I won't go into detail to protect their identity, but I had shout out to wifey. I had went on a cruise, right, for our anniversary. I was gone for a week, just 1 week. And I come back to work. I supposed to have been gone for 2 weeks. I come back to work, and surprise, surprise, it's chaotic. After you've been calm, peaceful, waking up to no alarm, see all this scenic stuff, and then you get back into like the headache and the hassle. Yeah, it's chaotic. It's a chaotic environment. So I go to have breakfast, and there was a whole commotion behind, an air fryer. Who was using the air fryer? And I was like, "Ain't no way." I said, "Ain't no way." Like it turned into like I don't know how to talk to people. I say all types of stuff and this and that, and I'm like, I haven't even been. I literally been out the country. I literally been out the country, dog. Like, what do you mean I've been? What? How could I have said anything when I haven't even been in the States? So who is telling you I'm saying stuff? You know what I mean? What you got to do for you, because you cannot control the tongue of others, the image that others have of you, what others think of you. So I entertained that argument because I got more information through it. When people get upset enough to argue, they're going to tell you the truth. And the truth finally had came out. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, okay, the things that you say I do, I don't, but I'm going to make sure that I'm not even in the setup for these things to happen. You can't even say I was in the presence of whatever for that to come back around. Now it's to the point, if you mention my name, you know that it ain't true. Being your authentic self stops falsehoods spread about you. Being your authentic self stops falsehoods spread about you. Because there's too many people who knows me, and it's easier just being you instead of keeping up with the image. There's too many people who knows me. So when these things came about me, what up, cuz? That's Miss Hines of the Hines RVA Foundation I spoke of earlier. On this replay, I spoke highly of you in the beginning, so you can check that out later. And I'll be seeing you later. We got more things to do, more community work to do. Love you, Cuzzo. So, um, being your authentic self stops the falsehood spread about you. So I go on about just being myself. When people try to spread things about me, Other people will be like, that don't sound right. Or know me well enough to be like, okay, if you feel that way about him, you should go talk to him. Like, what are you telling me for? And then, sure enough, word travels. It comes back to me. You know, so and so said such and such. That's cool. At least they thinking about me. Gone. I can't be stopped and worry about what other people think, right? And I learned wicked people tend to think wicked things. So these people, there's a lot of pettiness out there, right? I could be petty, but I got a limit because I can't give it too much energy. I entertain being petty, the back and forth pettiness. It was funny at first, and then I seen the level that these other people were willing to go. I said, man, you got too much time on your hands. This is too much. Like, I can't. Like, you win. I'm throwing in the white flag. You win. Like, your pettiness has prevailed. So do for you, because you cannot control the thoughts of others, the images of others. And I had to revise my goals, right? And I had to analyze myself. And I realized that, one, I'm not as small as I kept on telling myself. You know, I have 400 subscribers here on YouTube, and whatever hundreds of people on the other sites. I got over 4,000 friends on Facebook. It's just like those numbers don't do it for me. Numbers, just like money. Money is numbers. If you're chasing a number, numbers are infinite. It's never going to be enough. Like, I remember when I had 8 subscribers on YouTube. I'm pushing for 10. And here I am at 400 feeling less than. Stop playing. I had to realize that I'm not as small as I'm making myself. Because when you start to doubt yourself, when you start to feel a way about you, what are you comparing it to? What are you comparing it to? People would think all types of things about you. I started actually doing what I wanted and what I needed, and it became more freeing. Again, I didn't intend to be away for 2 months from the camera. It was just supposed to be the remainder of that month. And here I am in September, like, yo. But I had to do things for me. I had to learn more about me. I had to put things back into perspective, relearn some things, get stuff together. Like, yeah, you're a content creator, but you're still a person. You still got to tend to the things that you need to tend to. And if you're not doing what you want to do, you're not enjoying life, right? Which leads me into my next 2 points, and I'll try to make them be pretty brief. Bear with me. Mm. So, my next point, excuse me, death is scary, yes, but it's necessary. I've been having a lot of conversations about death and looking into it, like, my people, I'm getting older. That means my older generation is getting older, and it's closer to a more of a reality that y'all ain't gonna be around all the time. I've been thinking a lot about my past loved ones, and I thought at one moment I was like, "Yo, like this may be the last time that I hear your voice. I should speak to you." Y'all ever put off calling somebody? Like I'll wait You keep on putting it off, putting it off, putting it off. I don't know if y'all had the experience, but I had a loved one who I was like, I'm gonna go see. I'm gonna just go pop up, go pull up on them one day. And I would ride past their house all the time. Like I would stop. I'm gonna stop one day. I would ride past the house all the time. That day never came. They winded up passing, and now that house is gone. So now I ride past and I'm like, I should have just popped up. It's possible I could have saved their life just by popping up, bro. It's far. It could be considered far fetched, but it's real though. You don't know when it's gonna be the last time. You don't know when or how God is gonna call you home. Death is scary, but it's necessary. And I've been thinking about it. I've been pondering. I've been preparing. I've been accepting because there's been several moments where I'm like, yo, that could have, if it was just like a wrong turn, that could have took me out just a little bit closer. That could have happened to me. You hear gunshots and you don't know where it's coming from. Like that could hit me, like I'm just walking. That could have got me. Like anything at any time could happen. And that's a scary thought, but what I had to learn is that death is necessary. I was talking to my boy Paul, surprise, surprise, and my other homeboy Quan, who drove all the way up here from Tennessee to attend that Barbers and Backpacks event. Much love to him. Shout out to him. So we normally do a group workout Sunday mornings here in Richmond, Virginia at Libby Hill Park, which we call the Libby Hill Death Steps because they are steep steps that are more than the Rocky Steps in total count. Um, and it's a nice view. It's a nice area out there. It's considered my peace place. So this is the first time that Kwan got to see this area. You've seen it on TV, on YouTube and some of the channels. We recorded some episodes and stuff out there and did a lot of things out there. There's even been shots of The Walking Dead recorded out there at this park and all types of things. People have ceremonial pictures, wedding, graduation and stuff, all of that. It's a beautiful park, beautiful place. Um, so we go out there to work out on a Sunday morning after the event, and nobody else came, which was interesting. So it was just us three. So my guy Paul was like, if we can, let's just go for a walk instead of doing like, we do the HIIT workout and then we do the steps. So instead of doing the steps this morning, let's just go for a walk. Let's just walk around. And we wound up finding what is Paul's Peace Place. It's this place by the river, the James River, that's in the cut, And he said, I usually come here and just let my mind go. And sure enough, we let our minds go. And the topic of death came up. He recommended a book called The Choice by the author Og Mandino. That's OG Mandino. And he said that's the last book that made him cry. He's not a crier. That is not, I have never seen this man shed a tear. I have never seen this man shed a tear. He's not a crier. So for him to say that this book brought him to tears, powerful. Gotta get it, right? It's in my cart right now. So he shared a passage from this book, an insert from this book, where the author had wrote a poem or a speech, and man, like I said, it puts things into perspective. You think about it. I said death is scary but necessary. You think about it. What would you do if you knew you couldn't die? What would you do if you knew that you couldn't die? I tell you, there would be no life. There would be no sense of urgency. There would be no, I gotta get it together, right? There would be no, oh, I need to be morally righteous. I need to be, like you commit a crime, you do get 100-year sentence. It's like, okay, I knock out these 100 years, I go back out here, be a whole different civilization. You know what I mean? Like there would be no reason to try. There would be no reason to live if there was no death. If you had no possibility of dying, if there was no end, there would be nothing that you need to get started. And I was at work, right? Last week was a crazy week. It was interesting, man. And I was at work. I had just left this area, right? It was a beautiful day, but I'm in my head about the things going on with me that are pretty small. And one of my customers pulled me over on the side of the road and was like, "Man, I just want to tell you I love you." And I'm like, what's happening? Like anytime a man randomly tells you he loves you, it's usually like something going wrong or something bad has happened, unfortunately. You know what I'm saying? Me and my guys trying to change that narrative by just showing open love and making sure that we tell our fellas we love them, to make it common that a man can tell you he loves you without it being, you know, a hidden underlying or something horrendous that had happened or is about to happen. You know what I mean? It don't have to be a crazy event for a man to show love. Working on that. That's a constant work in progress. But this guy tells me he loves me. He never told me that before. And I'm like, what's happening? He was like, man, he said, I had to come from, he said it was a whole lot of detours because there was a bad accident just around the corner. I'm like, I was just around the corner. I didn't see no accident. And he was like, yeah, man, somebody lost their life. And I'm like, it hit me. Like I get news about death quite frequently, especially from the older generation. Like they read obituaries, you know what I mean? Like who died this week, but for some reason this had hit me. And it's probably because like I was just there. So, like just 5 minutes earlier, that could have been me. You know what I mean? Like, excuse me, just 5 minutes earlier, that could have been me. So I was like, yo, I had to step back. And then I came back to it. It was like, yo, like for real? Like, and I'm like, at the time, I was like, I don't think I could hear any more of this, right? Somebody lost their life due to an accident. And then it was on the news, which I don't watch the news, but I was watching football, which had a delay. Shout out to the Eagles, which had a weather delay. So within that weather delay, they were showing commercials, and one of the commercials was news. What's happening? Because it's on the news channel. What's happened recently? And I saw how bad that accident was, and the info was it was a sign flipper advertisement for the business. Two tractor trailers collided. Somebody ran a red light, right? You got an 18 wheeler, you should not be running red lights. If anything, stop at the yellow. When he ran the red light, they ran into each other, trailers flipped. One of them had concrete slabs, and the man got pinned under a concrete slab, lost his life, lost his life working. And that just put things into perspective for me. I was like, man, I haven't been able to stop thinking about him. And I feel as though it's because I was so close. Like, that could have been me. And then I'm thinking, like, I don't want to die on the job. I don't want to die on the clock. I don't have no control over that. But as far as like, if I'm taking my last breath and I'm on the clock, best believe if y'all see me go out naked, I'm, I'm naked for a reason. I cannot die in this uniform. I cannot die in these clothes. I'm taking my last breath taking these clothes off. I ain't doing it, bro. So, but around that same time, I can't get this man off my mind. I don't know what he looked like. I don't know who he was, right? I just know that there was a man that died in the area I had just left. And I had gotten bitten by a dog on my route. I had got bitten by a dog that was loose. It wasn't aggressive. And I got a lot of, people telling me I need to go get checked and get the tetanus shot and this and that. And I'm like, but that means I got to report it. And that means I got to report the dog. The dog, to me, was innocent. It was just playing. It's a big puppy. Dog loves me, but it got loose. So when it got loose, it got up to me again. Doesn't know its size, doesn't know its strength. So it jumped up and it nipped at me and it caught me. So I'm bleeding, right? I'm like, yo, but the dog just wanted to play, just wanted to walk with me, you know? So I'm like, I don't want nothing to happen to the dog. That's what's happening in my mind. Meanwhile, somebody just lost their life. I'm thinking about a nibble. Somebody just lost their life. It makes me think of how small these problems really are. Like, it's not even an issue. It's not even an issue. So, fast forward. Uh, my last point, I told you I was going to try to make it quicker. My last point is enjoy life. Enjoy life. Life is meant to be enjoyed. People are going to say what they're going to say regardless. And they're going to say what they think about you and your situation per their own understanding. On the outside looking in, somebody will be like, man, you go on a cruise, all these cruises you'd have been on, you wasting time, you wasting money. But those were life is remembered by the memories. And memories are created in the moment. Those were some of the most precious moments I've ever had. On this last cruise, I'm a morning person, right? And my wife is more of, she's barely a person. She's not an early bird. She's not a late night owl. She's not a midday person. If she could sleep at any of these times, then that's a good time for her. You know what I mean? She loves that. Loves the rest, which is balanced because I'm always active. She usually gets me to rest. And on this last cruise, I usually take that. I'm an early bird, as y'all can see. I usually get up early, 6 a.m. I'm programmed to get up around 6 a.m. And I would usually like go out, get the scene, do my own thing, and then come back to the room on this cruise. On these cruises, that's usually my routine. Like I go away, but this entire cruise, we never left each other's side besides once. And that's not to be like mushy or whatever, but this is real. Like I worked so much that I hadn't seen the very person that I committed to. You know what I mean? Like I've been just doing so much, whether it's work, whether it's community, whether it's business, whether it's whatever. I just been gone, just moving. And it sounds good. It looks good. It is good things. But I missed this person. I missed my person. And it surprised me at the end of the cruise that I realized I had not left her side. Like we literally did everything together. The only time that I left her side was she wanted to go shopping and I wanted to go play basketball. There was a basketball tournament on the cruise. If y'all ever get the chance to go on a cruise that has a basketball court, it is the most euphoric basketball experience you can get. Like I want them to add that to video games. Like it is crazy how good of a game of basketball you can get on a boat. So that was the only time we had parted ways. And that was just about like an hour or two, and then right back to each other. And these are things and that was one of the best times that I had playing ball in a while. Everybody was actually competitive. We played 5-on-5 full court. I haven't played that in a while. I felt that too. Still recovering. But it's been a while. I was like, man, I'll never forget that. So somebody else would be like, man, you're wasting your time. You're wasting your youth. You're wasting your energy. You're wasting your money. It's a waste of life to enjoy life. Shoot, man. I'm going to go on these cruises. God willing, I'm going to go on these cruises. We didn't get sick, not seasick, not nauseous, not nothing. We didn't get sick. We didn't get over drunk. I've been there. We didn't get messed up, man. Nothing was stolen. There was no confusion. It was lovely, man. One of the best cruises we've been on post COVID, where both of us was able to enjoy our time together. And we, oh man, I remember it. Enjoy life. Who cares what somebody else has to think about what it is that you want to do with your life? It's yours. It's yours. If you're not doing what they think is right with what you have, then you're wasting time to them. But let me tell you, if you are doing what you want to do with the time that you have, then that time is not wasted. It's not a waste of time for you if you intentionally wanted to watch that show. You did something that you wanted to do with the time that you have. You are not wasting your time because you're not chasing millionaire dreams. Not everybody wants to be a millionaire. Not everybody will be a millionaire. Going back to death is scary but necessary. There are people who literally work themselves to death. And there's some people who I know that did not enjoy working like that, who realize that they shouldn't. They don't need to work themselves to death, but they did it anyway because that's what is told. That is what you're supposed to do. Anything outside of work is a waste of time. And that's crazy. Like it got to the point like I'm talking to men and they got that whole the woman raised the kids. It's a waste of time for me to be here. It's a waste of time for you to be amongst your children. The same ones you call your lineage, the same ones that you talk about handing over whatever it is that you might have created. Most of these people haven't, but they taking on the perception of others. You're wasting time spending time with the ones that you love. Crazy, crazy, bro. I had to delete that installment and just started enjoying life, man. It's not a waste of time if I want to play the game. My wife got upset recently because we came back. I told y'all we went on that. It was a week-long cruise, and when we came back, I still had another week off of work. But to save hours to use later, I went back to work. Smart, terrible decision. Because that's when the arguments happen and dog bites and like smart, terrible decision. Saved some hours, made more money. Terrible on my mental. Terrible on my time. It was you asked me, that was a waste of time. I could have been anything other than here. Still was getting paid. Vacation. Man, it was smart, terrible decision. So ever since we had came back off of the cruise, we did not have one day of rest, recharge, reset, breathe. We didn't have one day. We went right into full-fledged work, both of us, because she followed me. And that's why I was like, man, that was a terrible decision. She followed my decision, and both of us are now exhausted. When we had the time to just be, it should be the opposite. Like I should choose when I go strong on working instead of like you get 2 weeks out the year to not work. Anyhow, anybody outside of your situation, if they don't see you working, they're gonna consider it a waste of time. It's not a waste of time if you're doing what you want to do, right? And my wife got upset because that same weekend that we had the Barbers and Backpack event, my boy came in from out of town. I'm doing a group workout and all that stuff. It's pretty jumbled of all the things that I did. But that was one of my rare because it fell on a week, a holiday. On that Monday was a holiday, and this was a rare occasion that I had the weekend off. So technically, I had a miniature vacation. It was a 4 day. I had 4 days off: Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. We was like, okay, we really need to get that house together. We really need to declutter. And I did a live on this before about how when you declutter your space, it also declutters the mind. This is one of the reasons why cleanliness is closest to godliness, because if you can see it in the physical, it will hit you in the spiritual. Okay? So if anytime your mind feels cluttered, Declutter your space. Clean up. And I'm telling you, you will instantly feel like, okay, once you take the trash out, you threw something away physically, your mind makes space as well. Seriously. So that was a mission. That was a project that me and my wife had. Is we got to declutter these spaces, get rid of things we don't use. We not, like all of this, and how blessed and fortunate we are to have things to declutter. I had so many clothes that I no longer wear that were still in good condition. We donated to the school with the Heinz RVA Foundation. We donated, to Goodwill. We donated to other people. Man, so so much cleaning happened that it actually took us all 4 of those days. And we still not done. Anybody ever take on, like, cleaning the whole house, like, getting rid of, like, a deep cleanse of the whole house? Be like, "I should be able to do this today." Like, you always in all of these rooms, right? Mm-mm. It's so much more to do, and I'm thankful. I was more grateful than anything, but my wife got upset because this was more so her plan. Uh, my wife got upset because she was like, "I took your whole weekend and you had to still work." And I'm like, "Baby, sorry, but you do not have that power to waste my time. Nobody has that control to waste your time. You do what you choose to do with your time." It was a choice. And I made this choice consciously. I said, man, I was grateful that we had so much to give, so much to do, so much to get rid of, so much to clean. I was grateful for how clean that it got. And I was truly grateful for how much time that we still got to spend together doing this. It may seem arduous activity, but I was truly grateful for the time that we had to spend together to be able to do these things and get this stuff straight. And I'm telling you, so much of it. Like the back of the house looked like a completely different house. And it's spacious, you can breathe, you can smell, it smells great. Not that we ain't have it kept up in the beginning, but y'all know what I'm saying. You declutter, it's like like a game commercial, a Downy commercial or something. It was crazy. I enjoyed that moment. I ain't mind working at home. It was a waste of my time working outside. I ain't mind working at home. I enjoyed that. So enjoy life, man. Don't worry about what somebody else has to say, how somebody else judges, what society says you should be doing. Do what's right for you. Keep yourself the priority. Look out for people's real intentions. And death is scary, but it's necessary. Hey, shout out to my cousin them in there. Love you. Love you. Yeah, I know I was talking about I got to see my baby girl that graduated. That's my little cousin. That's her mom right there. So shout out to y'all, man. I love y'all. But those are the 4 gems that I wanted to bring. Those are the things that I learned, the lessons I learned with my 2 months away. Don't even feel like it's been 2 months for real. Um, look out for people's real intentions. Do for you. Death is scary, but necessary. And enjoy life, man. Enjoy life. I got more to talk about. I might do this next week where what I learned as a creator or a community advocate or entrepreneur, that might be the next one. And as far as consistency goes, I might do every other Monday. We'll see. We'll see. But regardless, I'll be seeing y'all. Much love. Peace.